Hey everybody, it's that time of the month when we look at the upcoming non-fiction releases. This time it's for August. I've been around looking into all of the publishing houses with my lantern, looking for exciting releases, and I have 4 or maybe 5 books to present to you today that I think really stood out. And it's covering everything from the most anticipated book of 2024 according to some. And I also have books about how horses and the human language has altered the human predicament. We will cover books about taking risks and also about the collateral human damage that has been caused by the AI industry. So let's just zone in and jump right into the list. Welcome to the Booklab. I'm Björn, and first of all I want to say sorry that I didn't mention that I was going to be out for vacation, so that's why my videos has been lagging a bit, but I have enjoyed summer and I hope you have too. I have a list for you today of some great upcoming books, and I will waste no time jumping into that list. And here is the first book. It's Hiding in Plain Sight: What Language Says About Being Human. It's by Serghei Sadohin and it's out on August 1st, and it's 168 pages, a shorter book, which could be kind of nice sometimes. Hiding in Plain Sight is a captivating exploration of the intricate relationship between language and the concealed order of human existence. Drawing on existential philosophy, literature, poetry, etymology, and historical analysis, it dwells into the hidden significance of everyday words and the powerful impact they can have on our understanding of the world and our place within it. I have always been a little bit of a language and word geek in a way. As a child, I was reading dictionaries and books about complicated or obscure words, so this sounds pretty interesting to me. And here's something from the Amazon editorial review. Following the roots and flowers of words and language throughout the centuries, it may unexpectedly inform and delight. It may provoke thought, wonder and discussion. The author, Serghei Sadohin, he's an author, a columnist and a communicator, and I'm looking forward to see what he has in store for us. Next book, Overruled: The Human Toll of Too Much Law, by Gorsuch and Janie Nitze. It's out on August 6th. It's another tiny book. It's 168 pages. I need to double check that. No, it's 304 pages. Quote, over just the last few decades, laws in the nation have exploded in numbers. They are increasingly complex and the punishment they carry are increasingly severe. So the focus area here is, if there is too many laws, what is the impact of this on humans and the society in which humans live? For me, reading this book would open up a new field of exploration. I never studied law or lawmaking at all. But I kind of resonated with the description of this book. I have not been in trouble with the law per se, but when I was trying to start my own company, I realized how many hoops and obstacles you had to navigate in order to just get started. So I'm kind of interested in this. At the heart, it's a book about stories, about fishermen in Florida, families in Montana, monks in Louisiana, a young internet entrepreneur in Massachusetts, and many others that have found themselves trapped unexpectedly in the legal maze. I think this book has a place on this list. And now for the third book. Now we're going to talk about horses. Let me know in the comments if we have any horse people around here. That might sound out of the topics that we usually discuss on this channel, but bear with me. The Horse: A Galloping History of Humanity by C Winegard. It's 544 pages and it's released on July 30th. I missed it last month and that's basically August, so I added it to the list. Quote, to know the horse is to understand the world. Its story begins more than 5,500 years ago in the wind-swept grasslands of the Eurasian steppes. When one human tamed one horse, an unbreakable bond was forged and the future of humanity was instantly rewritten, placing the reins of destiny firmly in human hands. Come think about it, I don't think I've ever even ridden a horse. Maybe on a town square somewhere when I was little, on a town's fair or something like that, but I never really ridden a horse. But that said, I know the importance of the horse in human history. I don't know the details and would like to know more. Quote, "Since that pivotal day, the horse has carried the history of civilizations on its powerful back. For millennia, it was the primary mode of transportation, an essential farming machine, a steadfast companion, and a formidable weapon of war." Taming the horse has of course been a big deal for human civilization, and what I hope to learn from this book is, by reading up on how the horse has impacted how we live our lives and the trajectory of societies and civilization, I will be able to better analyze other technologies, so to speak, and get a better framework for how innovations like this change the human predicament and the evolution of society. Next book, On the Edge by Nathan Silver, The Art of Risking Everything. It's out on August 13. It's 576 pages. So, it's named the most anticipated book of 2024 by FT, The Guardian, and The Sunday Times. In the best-selling book, The Signal and the Noise, Nate Silver showed how forecasting could define the age of big data. Now, in this timely and riveting book, Silver investigates the river, the community of like-minded people whose mastery of risk allows them to shape and dominate so much of modern life. These professional risk takers, poker players, hedge fund managers, crypto true believers, and blue chip art collectors can teach us much about navigating the uncertainty of the 21st century. This book sounds right up my alley, and it seems to be quite well paired with my current interests. Recently, I've been noticing that the traditional ways of building a life for yourself is not functioning that well. Things has changed as we enter the digital era, and one of the interests I have right now is to figure out what's different and what is the new rules. I've been reading books like The Sovereign Individual, Mastering the Transition to the Information Age. I recently reviewed this book. It's a fantastic book from 1995, predicting how society will change with the introduction of microprocessing and the internet. I'm also reading The Price of Tomorrow, Why Deflation is the Key to an Abundant Future. This review will be up probably next week, by the way. It's a great book. And I've also been reading classics like Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations, used to study the fundamental ideas of economy and so on. Quote, "Most of us don't have the traits that are commonly found in the group River. High tolerance of risk, appreciation of uncertainty, affinity for numbers, paired with an instinctive distrust of conventional wisdom and a competitive drive so intense that it borders on irrational. For those in the river, complexity is baked in, and the work is how to navigate it. People in the river have increasing amounts of wealth and power in our society, and understanding their mindset and the flaws in their thinking is key to understanding what drives technology and the global economy today." Bring it on. My brain is ready for this thing. I think this just sounds like a very insightful read, and also one that might open up new ideas and new mindset that you can adopt, discard, or at least have fun thinking about. And we have a fifth book before we go into the pick of the week, Feeding the Machine, The Hidden Human Labor Powering AI, by the authors Callum Cant, James Muldoon, and Mark Graham. Probably butchered a bunch of names there. It's 217 pages, and it's out on August 6th. Quote, "Silicon Valley has sold us the illusion that artificial intelligence is a frictionless technology that will bring wealth and prosperity to humanity. But hidden beneath this smooth surface lies the grim reality of a precarious global workforce of millions laboring under the often appalling conditions to make AI possible. This book presents an urgent, riveting investigation of the intricate networks that maintains this exploitative system, revealing the untold story of AI." And immediately some alarm bells go on when I hear this description, and that's why it's on my list as well. I mean, sure, companies will of course put a positive spin if they're going to launch an AI product to the masses. That they're selling their product. Doing something else would be unwise, and we shouldn't come and say that people in the AI industry and people in general haven't warned us about the impact of AI, the possibility of loss of jobs, even the idea of AI as an existential threat has been vocalized and talked about for 10 years. And the reason I want to talk about this book is because I'm a very tech positive person. I believe technology is not only inevitable, but it will also take humanity to the next level, and I believe that we can have a positive impact with technology. The reason I bring this book up is because it seems to have a more negative and critical view on things, and I think that's helpful for me to see that view as well, because I tend to forget about it. It gives voice to the people whom AI exploits, from accomplished writers and artists to the armies of data annotators, content moderators, and warehouse workers, revealing how their dangerous, low-paid labor is connected to longer stories of gendered, radicalized, and colonial exploitation. End quote. This description reminds me kind of Naomi Klein's books. Actually, Naomi Klein is one of the reasons I actually read. I remember reading the No Logo book, where she exposes the shoe manufacturing industry for using very low paid work in poor parts of the world. I found it fascinating back then. I've kind of changed my view on her take on things, and last time I read a book by her, I actually felt like it was one of the worst books I've ever read. Anyway, we all change our mind, I guess, but this gave me kind of a Naomi Klein vibe when I read the description of this book. I myself work in an industry that is affected by AI in many ways. I work as a video game developer, and we see a lot of AI tools just boosting productivity in so many areas and also eliminating a lot of tasks. And there's also been a lot of pushback from artists, especially people working with illustrations and concept art, because AI has basically taken over, and it's been like, what, 2-3 years since that technology was invented, and now the whole field has just changed. It feels like almost overnight. So I understand that. I understand that people get fearful and people feel like this is not fair at all. But sometimes I think we forget that the world is a harsh place, that there is a reason that where we live is called Earth and not heaven. When it comes to technology, it's adapt or perish. Once the genie is out of the bottle, you can't really put it back in, and that has been said 1,000 times about AI. But it's true in a way. I mean, if you were the French during a war and you didn't adopt the gunpowder, then the nation that adopted gunpowder would eliminate you. It's a harsh world out there, but I'm interested to see what kind of issues they highlight in this book. Quote, for readers of Naomi Klein and Nicole Periroth, a myth-dissolving expose of how artificial intelligence exploits human labor. And here are some alarming last words from the description. AI is an extraction machine that feeds off humanity's collective efforts and intelligence, churning through ever larger data sets to power its algorithms. Yeah, so that's the list for this week. So I'm going to talk about the pick of the month. Which book is the most exciting after looking through this list? And I have to say, my money would be spent on the Edge by Nate Silver, The Art of Risking Everything. That book sounds like I will get the most value out of this week, this month. So let me know in the comments which one of these books stood out to you. Which one would you like to read? And also if I missed any books, then let me know. I can put them in the next month's episode, because I do these breakdowns of new releases every month, and in between that I also put out reviews, and I'm gonna put out the review for The Price of Tomorrow quite quickly. I'm back from vacation. I want to put out a lot of videos. Let me know what kind of content you want as we approach autumn, and I will see if I can do something good for you. Happy reading, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Bye bye.